Howdy ho, neighbor. How's your rabbits? Just ducky, I hope. But now that we got the comedy out of the way, how's your day? Bloody good. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds through Christ Jesus. Philippians 4:7. That was the New King James Version. That was I put on Joyce mine. I know a lot of people don't read Joyce. And to be honest, a lot of times I've got to grab my other phone and look up. Because I'm weird about, I don't like, what do you call it? Versions. I love King James, New King James, NIV. That's as far as my versions of the Bible will tolerate. So I know a lot of people don't like Joyce, but she's also trying to teach people things. And on this one here, when we're stressed, and we're trying to get into all the details of what's going on, but I'm not going to. Laura and I were praying last night, and I told her, and one of the things I was praying to God is, all this stress is not of you. And Laura said, we're giving it all to you. And I made a joke. I said, oh, and God knows I have a weird sense of humor. He gave it to me, so that's his problem to deal with. When she said that, I said, and no take backs either. Meaning, don't want them back. So when you're stressed or whatever's going on, remember that verse I just read. Give it to God, let him deal with it. I mean, the man holds the planet Earth in the palm of his hands. You're not getting any bigger, people. But I want to share that. Because we can sit there and Lori's still in the process of trying to get things finagled around her mind. But we can let, and for years I was good at this one. Couldn't let it, what was like a traumatic brain injury. Finally got me to, I finally came to the conclusion either I can deal with it or it's going to deal with me. Well, I let it deal with me for decades. And it's like, no, this ain't happening. Been there, done that already, got used to it. Sent it back, do not want it back. To me, it's like I was like, you sat there playing around with it long enough, your own personal problems, now let me take over. And I found what I'm getting at is what I did. I mean, my big thing, see, I'm using this, I'm trying to give them an example, probably the worst way possible, but that's me. What TBI is, I've always had massive anger problems. I mean, if you read the first part of the transcripts, I guarantee 2,500, 2,600 people, I'd be down to about none. And I will be honest, I will tell you this much, they asked me why I went there to get tested. And I honestly, word for word, said this: to shut my damn mother up. She nagged me for years, drove me nuts. I thought she was wrong. Whoops. But the big thing about my TBI now is the memory problems. And I've prayed this many, many times, is, Lord, I want my memory back, and I know in his time everything's going to come back. Just like stress we're going through now, and every stress you're going through, problems you're going through, God's going to resolve it. Let him take up the fight. Look at David and Goliath. David was a little kid. Goliath was a giant. Now, in any other period of time that I can think off the top of my head, Goliath would have won hands down. But David had the ultimate backup. God had his six, and so Goliath had no shot. So picture like we're David and Goliath. The problems of Goliath. We're David with God. Let him deal with it. He doesn't need our unwanted help to take care of our problems. Even when we create the problems, he's more than willing and able to take care of them, get us out of them. I mean, it really is. I guess it's a weird way of getting this out the way I'm out there. I'm sorry, I'm not one of these people that can do things eloquently. Didn't want to either. That drives me nuts. But just remember, with God, everything is possible. No matter what problems we have. They may seem like mountains. But thinking, you know what, to God, they're smaller than a grain of sand. So they're really not big at all. Yeah, the brass getting out of work early today. But that's what I want to share with you guys. Hey, you know, it's funny. Lori's brother was sitting in Hawkins County Motel 6. The one I call Pigpen, and now I got the COs calling him that. Because what happened is I ran into one of the guards the other night at a store over here, and I knew what he was. And well, him, I, and the store clerk were talking, and he's been saying he was in law enforcement and all that. And I said, I already knew that. I mean, just the way he was dressed. And he said he was a CO at the jail, and I asked him if he knew Lloyd's brother, and he said, yeah. He says he's pretty cool. He listens to that dude Jelly Roll. Then I said, when you see him again, because he was saying he's going to work 4 to 12 for a while, 4 nights to 12 in the morning, midnight. I said, walk up and call him Pigpen. I said, you ain't got to say anything else. He'll know where you got it. Well, the dude never went back to work, but he told one of his coworkers to walk up and call him Pigpen. So now they're all calling him Pigpen. But Lori had a virtual visit with him today, and this kid never took responsibility for anything. And he has actually, at least what he said today was he was only up to all the nonsense he's pulled. So, to me, that's as he told Lori, he's giving everything over to God. I mean, he was a drug addict from the word go. That's what got him in there at Hawkins County Funniest. He said, he's been in there for what? 4 years this year. And he said, for the longest time, I was not even everything else. He's no, I just gave it over to God. So see, and as he says, even though I'm in here, I'm happy. So when you give things to God, it's going to change your attitude and outlook. So, just give everything to God. Now, I'm going to have my days where I'm going to be all over the place. So just keep praying for everyone. Pray for each other. The best thing we can do for each other. And remember Philippians 4:7. I'll read it again. In closing, I'll gladly read this again. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds through Christ Jesus. So when you feel like you lost your peace of mind, or problems getting too much, dwell on that. Because God's got your back. And on that note, I'm going to go and pick up the monster. I'm not sure if we're having eggplant tonight or sausage and eggs with rye bread. I don't know. She said she wanted both, so I'm like, I'm just buying it. So, on that note, y'all have a good night. I'll talk to you later. God bless. Love you. Bye.